本当にこれ全部言ってもいいのかな? Here we go. Anyways. 皆さんこんにちは。KemushiChan の Loretta です。Yesterday evening, I was getting ready for bed and I looked at the calendar and realized it is the 2-year anniversary since I moved back to Japan. In the 2 years, I have made a lot of mistakes and a lot of improvement. So today, kind of as a look back on the struggles of the past 2 years, I wanted to share the 10 things I regret doing or wish I had known more about doing before I moved overseas to Japan. Most of these tips are moving abroad tips that could probably help in general, but specifically this first one has a lot to do with Japan, and that's this. Your diploma. Your diploma in Japan is very important, and one of the first things I wish I had done before I had moved here was to order multiple copies of it. There's a lot of times where your future employer or your future school will ask you for a copy of your diploma, not just your transcript, but your diploma. And I don't know about you guys, but my college back home is not used to issuing diplomas cheaply or regularly. I basically had to call home and order a rush order, expensive diploma. I don't even know what the express mail fee was to send it here. If you guys are moving abroad to another country, especially to Japan, it's better to get it as soon as you graduate or even while you're still over on the States. So if you can, I'd order it now. Number 2, this baby right here, my Citibank account. When I first visited Japan, I saw that Citibank was a bank that existed both here in Japan and also back home in the States. I was like,
I'm totally moving to Japan, and I'm gonna have a Citibank here and a Citibank there so I can move my money back and forth.
I thought I was planning ahead. It doesn't matter. It doesn't actually apply. This is kind of like a specific thing for me, but it was really weird. You'll probably get a bank account abroad, and it probably will have nothing to do with when you have back home, so. I ended up setting up a JP Yucho bank here anyway, so it didn't even matter in the end. Oh well. Number 3, speaking of money, the absolute biggest mistake I think I ever did before moving abroad is, creating debt back home and not paying it all off before moving over here. Oh, we're getting personal. Especially as a US citizen. As a US citizen, it is very common to accrue school debt, school loans, and on top of that, credit card debt. We are very debt and credit heavy in the United States. Problems sending money back. How are you supposed to make your payments? Are you still getting paid at the same level? When I first moved to Japan, I wasn't paid anywhere near as much as I used to be paid back in the States. So there was the adjustment of figuring out how to re-budget my payment plans and things like that. So if you move over here as a student or even just as an adult with some sort of outstanding debt, don't do that. Pay it off. Try to close off anything financial that's left over back home before you move over here. Next, I wish I hadn't put my middle name on so many different documents. In Japan, there's usually only space for 2 names, your first name and your last name. I have 3 names. I know some people who have 4, 5, multiple last names, multiple middle names, suffixes, and as soon as you start putting your entire full name on documents, you have to start doing that everywhere. I've had times when I've been called my middle name. I've had times when I've been called my last name. I've had times when Boomer has been called my last name and I'm my first name. I mean, it's crazy. Like at work, for example, I'm like, Loretta to moshimasu, yoroshiku onegai shimasu. And they're like, wait, where's your name even on your card? And it's like reading forever. But obviously, on legal documents, government issue documents, etc., you should use your real, full legal name. But in other cases where you don't have to, I just wish I hadn't. Next, when I first moved to Japan, I brought shirts, t-shirts, stuffed animals, blankets. I brought all of my creature comforts that made me feel at home and made me feel cozy and warm. But at the end of the day, the only thing I ever need in Japan is shoes that fit and pants for my booty. And yet, there's always a shortage of both. Things like tops and other things, you can buy them in Japan, especially during rainy season. You're not going to want your thick cotton American shirts. But I don't know. I wish I had just focused on bringing more shoes, more boots, more heels, more boots, okay, no more boots. But anyways, you get it. I wish I brought the right things. Next, I am still a work in progress, but I'm going to be honest with you. I wish I had learned more than one hairstyle before I moved to Japan. I'm not a beauty guru. My appearance, my looks was something I was always kind of bad at, never really paid that much attention to. I had never learned my hair. I had never learned what to do with my hair. And then I moved to Japan, possibly one of the most surprisingly tropic-style humid places ever during the summer. And I was not expecting the journey that it was going to take me on. So while I am still slowly starting to learn things, I wish I had gotten to know how to do me before I was in a country where I had limited products. Next, speaking of the physical, the other thing I wish I had done this here. These are the pages of doctor bills and dentist bills that I racked up about a week before I moved to Japan. I had avoided doctors, I had avoided dentists, I had avoided everybody for as long as I could. Forever in the States. I figured I should get one last checkup before I moved to Japan, and you know what they gave me instead? A bill! I had good insurance. I had very good insurance, and my dental bill was about $10,050. Oh my god, it was $10,000. $10,000 worth of dental treatment, which I didn't even finish what I wanted to do, didn't even start what I wanted to do, but we're not going there right now. Getting my body checked out. I racked up over $10,000 worth of doctor bills just before I went, only because I waited until the last minute to do it. So this is kind of more of like a life thing more than just a Japan thing. I wish I hadn't waited, because I ended up spending my money that I wanted to use abroad on just making sure I wasn't going to fall apart on the way over there. So if you can, take care of yourself. Please. Okay. Next, I wish I had brushed up on the language more. I think my Japanese level is pretty darn good. But that being said, I still wish I had studied more before I moved here. Taxes, insurance, useful actual life adulting things that I just did not know. When I moved back this time, I knew I was moving for work, for higher education, for things like that. And I still had trouble using basic terms, just feeling frustrated, like, why didn't I know the word for a glass of water? Obviously, it's always a learning curve, there's always more to learn with language, but I could have saved some time and effort if I had just learned things in advance. If you're coming for tourism, know how to ask questions. If you're coming for school, make sure you know how to talk about like classrooms, grades, subject matter. If you're coming for work, make sure you know how to talk about taxes, insurance, dependents, your family members, etc. Live and learn, huh? Next, I wish I had moved sooner. The longer you spend in a certain place, the more you start to settle in. You know, you eventually start to buy furniture, you get a dog, you start to do all these things that make your life more comfortable where you are, and the more you do that, the more expensive it is to uproot. So if you can and you do sincerely want to try moving abroad, or even just try visiting that country to see if you even like it to begin with, I highly recommend doing that as soon as possible. Just get a taste, see if you like it at all, because the longer you wait to move, or the longer you wait to do something, probably the more money you're going to lose in terms of uprooting and losing your stuff. You're probably going to end up spending more money in the long term. The last and final tip is more or less just basic adulting. Things like updating all of your documents, your passports, your license back home, all of your ID documents. If you can, when I first moved to Japan, I started meeting a lot of people. I was going out all the time. I was trying to make connections, find like job opportunities, school opportunities, and I didn't have a current business card that I could use professionally. I had my YouTube business card and my old business card from work, but I didn't have one that was just my name and my best contact information. You can make business cards here in Japan, but I knew how to make them better and more quickly back in the States and more cheaply. So I wish I had made kind of like just plain my name, my contact information, and just very like clean, neat business cards, more like contact cards more than anything. I wish I had made a box of those and taken those everywhere I went, because it would have made contacting a lot more easy and a lot less awkward. You meet someone you want to possibly talk about work for, but you only connect on Facebook and now they're all up in your personal stuff. But yeah, anyways, I wish I had had some like nice clean business cards with me. Those are my 10 points of real talk, my tips and strangely large amount of financial advice. In general, when you're moving abroad, it's a fun experience and it's a chance to just explore and learn something new about yourself and the world around you. And it's so much better if you can do that without tripping over things like money, your body falling apart, etc. So yeah, happy 2-year anniversary to me. So thanks for sticking around for all this time, and let's look forward to some new adventures, huh? では、今日もご視聴ありがとうございました. I'll see you guys next time.